When the laughing stock is international, so is the video. Now, before I start this video, don't forget to watch my previous video because I'm gonna talk about some stuff that I mentioned before. Don't forget to help me grow this channel by hitting the like button down below and subscribing to my channel because this is the way you can help me grow this thing and spread the word about Brazil. Also, every time you see a number right here somewhere, don't forget there's a link down below in the description box for the sources about the things I'm saying here. Shit, I don't even know how to start this video. And I have to be honest with you, my last video took me weeks to produce, not only because it's hard to find all the sources and to write a screenplay, but because every time I thought, okay, now the script is done, there was Bolsonaro again making some shit up to say or to do. But there's more shit, so of course there's more video. Not only there's the welfare reform, which I'm gonna address more specifically in another video, which means Brazilians are gonna have to probably buy a new Ouija table to receive their pensions and retirements because they're gonna be dead before they can be retired. And also the fact that Bolsonaro recently said that Brazil spends too much money in education, which is pretty funny because education is one of our main problems in Brazil, but it's gonna get worse. And about education, that's something else that happened recently. Well, there's something going on with the Bolsonaros that I cannot explain, but maybe Freud can, because they're all obsessed with genitals. I don't know what happens, but they have this thing for vaginas, penises, and buttholes. And seriously, I don't know what's going on, but there's definitely something going on right there. Now, something else happened. There's this booklet about health education that is given to students in Brazil. It's about health in general, but of course there are some pages about sexual health. But now, what did Bolsonaro do? Well, he told parents to rip off the pages that talk about sexual education because apparently kids, they can't see genitals. I mean, I think they should talk to parents and tell them to put garments on their children when they take a shower, because that's the only way to assure that they're never gonna see a genital. Maybe that's what they should do because, I don't know, they can't see genitals. It's like unnatural or something. But just when you think this can't get any worse, well, it does. As you probably know, Carnival is a big thing in Brazil. There are the parades and the bloquinhos. The bloquinhos are when people like go to the streets to party with costumes and everything else. And you know, Carnival is a big thing in Brazil, and during those days the whole country is partying. Well, I'm not that much into partying myself, but it's indeed a colorful and joyful celebration. And since we are in the middle of a political crisis in Brazil since 2013, let's be honest, people pretty much use the parades and bloquinhos to protest, and you could easily find scenes like that going on in Brazil. And of course, the president wasn't happy about it. So what did he do? Well, his next move was to actually post this video online in his official Twitter account. Of course, I'm not going to post this video right here because it's pornographic and obscene, but in this video you could pretty much find one guy anal fisting and the other one golden showering on the first one. Now, golden shower, if you're lucky enough not to know what this is, it's pretty much when someone pees on other person for sexual purposes or something like that. Yeah, people do that. Okay. Now, Bolsonaro claimed that this took place in the 2019 Brazilian Carnival, but like it wasn't enough, I mean, a president posting a video like that online where millions of people follow him, including children and other chiefs of state from all around the world. He also decided to ask on his Twitter account what is a golden shower? Now people are calling this xixigate. Xixi in Portuguese means to pee. People are also calling Bolsonaro Mijair Bolsonaro, and the verb mijar is a not so pretty way to say pee in Portuguese. And this is not only a clear break of the Quran, but he's also exposing Brazil to ridicule, like he hasn't done this enough already. Now I have to mention that during the carnival a lot of nice things happened, like there's a lot of people sitting on the floor so this mother could actually find her lost child, but for some reason what the president decided to post online was the golden shower video. And now the Workers' Party are suing Bolsonaro and trying to force him to go through a mental sanity test. I think it's fair enough. I mean, every time this guy opens his mouth and says something, the real, our currency, goes deep down and the US dollar goes like skyrocket up. Now, in the middle of this, there's something else going on, but to explain this, I have to go to Venezuela for a little while. Well, it's not my place to discuss if Nicolás Maduro is a good president or not, but one thing's for sure, he was democratically elected back in 2018. But for a lot of reasons, a lot of governments don't like him, especially Donald Trump. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that Venezuela holds one of the biggest oil reservations in the entire planet, and Maduro won't give it away for free. But that's another story. Well, it turns out this guy called Juan Guaido, who was elected to the Venezuelan Congress, decided to self-proclaim himself the president of the country. I mean, fuck the elections. He's the president just because he wants to. Well, considering the vortex of insanity that we Brazilians are living, this guy right here called José de Abreu, who is an actor, a Brazilian actor, decided to do the same thing just for fun and declare himself the president of Brazil, just like Juan Guaido. A huge part of Brazilians are actually supporting Abreu. I mean, when the option is a guy who doesn't know the difference between X video and his official Twitter account, and a guy that looks like he's reasonable, which one would you choose? Well, it turns out that José de Abreu announced the day, time, and place he would arrive in Brazil because he was in Europe, and he showed up at the airport and people actually showed up to support him. He even did the oath with the constitution and everything else, like he was taking the office. Even TV companies were there to broadcast the whole thing, and now Bolsonaro wants to sue him. Well, let's just see what happens. Okay, but now this was funny and all, but now I have to go to the serious part of it. Now, if you watched my last video, you probably remember about Marielle Franco, the consul woman who was murdered back in 2018. Now there are a few more unfoldings to this situation. Well, do you remember when I told you about the militias and the fact that the Bolsonaro family was being linked with them? Well, there's one more piece of information I haven't mentioned before. This guy here called Marcelo Freixo from PSOL, which stands for Socialism and Liberty Party of Brazil, is widely known for fighting the militias in this country, especially in Rio de Janeiro. Well, you've probably heard of Elite Squad 1 and 2, the movies I aforementioned. Well, it turns out Braulio Mantovani and José Padilha, the guys who wrote the script for the movies, they created a character that was inspired by Marcelo Freixo. The character is Fraga. Now, seriously, if you haven't watched those two movies, just do this. You're gonna understand a lot more about Brazil by watching them, seriously. The reason for that is because in the movie, Fraga fights the militias just like Marcelo Freixo did in real life. The character was inspired by him. Well, it turns out they murdered Marielle Franco a year ago, but the media also revealed that they were planning on murdering Freixo as well. And why? Well, because militias militians, they don't want enemies. But now things get a little more serious because now they have finally arrested the 2 former cops from the military police. And yes, I have to say this again, we have a military police in Brazil responsible for killing her, Rony Lessa and Elcio Vieira de Queiroz. Well, it turns out Lessa lives in the same luxury condo that Bolsonaro lives in. And let's be honest, none of them could legally have that much money to live in a place like this. Lessa even has a photo with Bolsonaro where they seem to be pretty close, as you can see. And yes, you've heard it right, the president is probably linked with the murder of Marielle Franco. And now everything is really weird and scary around here. Let's just see what happens. Now I ask you to please spread the word about Brazil because we really need help around here. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments down below if you have anything to add. Thank you for watching.